Katherine Paterson, her books are true literature. It doesn't matter if you're a little child or if you're an adult. What you're looking for is a plot that grabs you, themes that are universal, characters that you can relate to, an honesty that will touch a nerve in you. And her books are like that.
Bridge to Terabithia is one of the best children's books that has been written. It feels timeless because of the reality of the situations in the book.
It was such a poignant book, and it was so important to me as a kid because the characters are so unique and also imaginative.
When I first read the book, it was in my school curriculum, and it touched me where I hadn't been touched by a book before.
I pledge allegiance.
As a teacher who works with fifth graders for a living, I was very impressed by the way that Katherine Paterson put her ideas across with real children, with real flaws and, imperfect home lives.
Hey!
It just has something that a lot of kids can relate to.
I feel very passionately that the teachers need to know what pieces of literature are out there and available for them to make connections for kids.
I know a lot of us have stories that we want to share in our lives, and that's called what, boys and girls? Making connections. So who would like to make a connection to something that happened in this story?
Bridge to Terabithia, that's one of the books that I put on the top of my list because of its value for teaching themes.
So when we're talking about the book, Bridge to Terabithia, it's more than just a story. It also has lessons to be learned, which are known as the themes, or the concepts that are important to us.
He felt there in the teacher's room that it was the beginning of a new season in his life, and he chose deliberately to make it so. He did not have to make any announcement to Leslie that he changed his mind about her. She already knew it.
The main themes in Terabithia have to deal with building relationships on many different levels.
You want to do something?
I don't know.
Let's do something. Definitely. What should we do?
Children building relationships with one another.
Friends aren't who we necessarily think we should be friends with.
This is Leslie.
Weird and weirder.
Hey, be glad he's found a friend.
Leslie is so different from Jess, so entirely different, but they can have this amazing friendship.
Come on, you can see the whole kingdom from up here.
And that's magical. That's as magical as what they create together.
What do we call this place?
Terabithia.
Teaching tolerance can be taught at all ages. Leslie and Jess learn to trust one another. Whether it's a boy, whether it's a girl, age doesn't matter, and kids need to see that I can be friends with someone else who's different from me.
You're really good at it for a girl.
You're pretty good at art. For a boy.
They can be totally, completely different and yet come together on common ground and share experiences that are very valuable.
Jess didn't concern himself with what would become of it. For the first time in his life, he got up every morning with something to look forward to. Leslie was more than his friend. She was his other, more exciting self. His way to Terabithia and all the worlds beyond.
This book talks about fitting in and figuring out who you are.
Mind like yours wide open, you could create a whole new world.
Jessie definitely felt uncomfortable as a person.
When Leslie sees Jess, she realizes that he's different. She knows that he's trying to disappear and trying not to be noticed. But she notices him because he has that special little spark and that creativeness that they both kind of share.
He wouldn't have needed Leslie, but he's an outsider. He wouldn't have had this friendship if he had plenty of friends.
Consider it a free lunch program, farmer boy.
Because he's an artist, and he's an outsider in his home because he's an artist. But that's something inside himself that he can't seem to deny.
You're really good at drawing. Like, better than any kid I've ever seen.
Leslie is like a beacon of light. She swings in just like the rope. She swings into Jessie's life and changes it.
I love Leslie. She's always lit. She always has this happiness, some glow about her. Hey! That people just, I think, get attracted to. And no one can bring her down.
You're really asking for it.
Seems to me she gives it out whether you ask for it or not. So might as well have some fun.
She has to be different. She needs to be different. That's part of who she is.
That's not fair, is it? Pink's definitely supposed to be free. Free the pink. Free the pig! Free the pig! Free the pig! It's kind of how she responds to life. And it's just who she is. And she's not afraid to show it. We need a place, just for us. You know, where there's no Janice Averys or Scott Hookers.
When she begins to create Terabhithia for Jessie, that's where you begin to see how different she is.
We rule Terabhithia, and nothing crushes us.
It was a way for Jess, through Leslie's help, to get out of his regular world and kind of make it parallel with the world that he makes up on his own in his own backyard.
Leslie, we're the fastest in Terabhithia.
When they made the imaginary world, it kind of just makes their relationship together just like glue. It's just really a cool relationship.
See ya!
Yeah, see ya.
They know that they've made a good choice in the person that they chose to spend their time with. And kids need to be able to say, yeah, I like who I am when I'm with my friend.
He opens up more, he becomes more secure with himself and trusting in himself that he is better than he thinks he is. You know, the best prize that life can offer is working hard at work worth doing.
The story portrays self-esteem as putting forth your best effort and being all that you can be.
All I'm saying is that you are who you are.
That is an exceptionally valuable lesson for all of us.
That's what Leslie Burke says. She told me to keep my mind wide open.